Nobody knows what youth work is outside of those people doing youth work, and we shouldn't be in that position now, and I'm always frustrated by that. So I think it's about communicating it so that others can understand, from the communities in which you're working, to your managers who are managing you, to the politicians in your local area, to national, international. We can't expect people to know something without helping them understand, and that's a role I think that we have. But I also think it's about youth workers themselves understanding what they do and being able to recognise and say what it is you do.
If the public doesn't know what youth work is, then how do you get support for the work itself? So when we disappear, so to speak, right, youth work is the sector just keeps getting cut and cut and cut, we're disappearing underneath the public eye because the public doesn't know what it is. That's a problem for us.
You know, for a long time youth workers have been in a closed bubble, and it's like a magic science. We know what we do and we know it's successful because we do it. We've really failed ourselves by being able to tell people what we do, who we do it with and why. And because we failed to do that, other people have set the agenda. Other people outside of the youth work practice have potentially said, well, actually, we want you to demonstrate your impact on teenage pregnancy or joblessness or whatever. So they've set the agenda. As youth workers, we need to capture that agenda. We need to own it, celebrate it, and explain it. It's not magic. It's about relationship building. It's about travelling with people, and it's about critical dialogue and conversation. Are we getting paid to do that? Yes, because we have a better civic society if we do that. When young people feel valued, heard and listened to, something magic happens.
There are stereotypes, I suppose, about what a youth worker is. You know, the idea that youth workers just play games with young people, you know, they play pool in a drop-in centre, and that somehow that's not really work. I think it's this idea that you're building a relationship of trust with the young person, that you're able to provide resources and support, facilitate access, and assist young people in helping to find their voice.
The reason that it's important to communicate this is that most people look at the activities that youth workers do with young people and assume that the activity is what's important. But the activity is just a means of building a relationship with the young person that will enable the conversations to happen, that will increase the young person's understanding of their situation and of the world around them.
I think one of the things that youth workers don't have now that they had a little bit of in the past is space to reflect on their practice. When you have space to reflect on your practice, what you're doing is you're starting to articulate your concepts and your ideas, and you're labeling, you know, this really worked today with this group, and, you know, practitioners are talking about that and articulating it. And through that reflection and dialogue, now they have some language to describe what's going on. So that space to reflect is also a space to articulate. And that's what's missing.
Communication is a two-way street. I think youth workers do make excellent efforts to communicate what youth work is and what it does. But I think hearing that message on the part of policymakers and funders, that there are problems there, as much as there might be problems for youth workers explaining or communicating what they do.
I'm a great believer in involving your local community and politicians and decision makers, policy makers in the work that you do. So I often get local councillors, MPs, politicians, decision makers in the same room as youth workers and young people, and we'll do a piece of project work together. And it doesn't matter how many reports you write or how many stats you use, as soon as a decision maker gets in a room with the youth worker and the young people and they see, they feel, they taste, they smell the way that you work and the reactions and actions you get from young people, that's palpable. That narrative, that discourse is really powerful. And it's also about cross kind of sectorial work, enabling young people to have a voice directly to those people in power.